You are once again welcome to Evangelist Imakalu TV, Treasury of Excellent Knowledge. I am your serviceable servant, Evangelist Imakalu. This is part 13 of Prioritizing Godliness, and the caption is Living Out the Gospel. Living Out the Gospel. This is the reasonable and practical Christianity. Living out the gospel. This is going beyond preaching the gospel or assuming the gospel. It is about becoming the gospel itself. It is about becoming the gospel itself. Becoming is a part of personal development, human development. So becoming the gospel means making our character to become the gospel. Making our character, our lifestyle, living out the gospel is the topic. So it is not about preaching the gospel, talking about the gospel, expecting others to be living according to the gospel, or we claiming to be genuine Christians. It is not about claims anymore. It is about reality. It is about being real, being practical to what Christianity really is. Christianity is based on the gospel of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ is our perfect example. The Bible says we should look up to him, looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. Jesus Christ did not only preach the gospel, he did not only introduce the gospel to humanity, he lived out the gospel, even to the extent that it is recorded that only him has been the only one who had lived in this earth without committing a single sin. But all of us have been committing sins in different ways. So none of us can be compared to Jesus in terms of being righteous. But we are required to live out the gospel. The majority of us Christians are confessors. We confess Christianity, we confess our belief, we confess whatever, but they do not show in our characters. Faith without work is a dead faith, but faith added to the important work is a living faith. So living out the gospel is a manifestation of a living faith of the Christians. So we are required to live out the gospel. The Bible quotation for this is Philippians chapter 1 verse 27. It says, "Only conduct yourselves in a manner worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or remain absent, I will hear of you that you are standing firm in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel." This is Apostle Paul exhorting and admonishing the church at Philippi, using them as a case example to reaching out to the whole Christians. And the Christians should be the perfect example to illuminating the world. Let your light so shine. It is about living out the gospel, also imparting and influencing the world with the gospel. There are people who cannot understand the gospel by our preaching, but they can understand it by our behaviors. There are people who may understand the gospel by preaching, but our behavior becomes a reason of their discouragement to aligning with what the gospel requires of them. Some people will begin to think, how can these people who are telling us to embrace Jesus Christ, embrace the gospel, be a good person, be a peacemaker, love your neighbor as you love yourself, do not envy, do not commit adultery, do not commit fornication, do not rob, robbery or theft, do not steal, do not commit murder, do not commit all sorts of evil. These are the people preaching it to us, but we see them doing the same thing they are preaching against. Does it mean they themselves do not really believe what they preach? Or what happened? Or is the gospel made for people? Do they think? That is when the word begin to question, do us, the Christian, think that we are exonerated from practicing the gospel? And we who are Christians, if we cannot live up to the standard, up to the requirements of the gospel, why should we preach the gospel to others? And why should we expect others to live according to the gospel? Also, the inability of many of us who are regarded to be the Christians, our inability to live according to the gospel had created the avenue to permitting ungodly toleration in the church. Many churches today had become a social gathering, organization, institutions, where people come, they do all manner of ungodly things, and nobody hold them to account, because even those who should be leading them do the same thing. It is in many of today's church that you cannot differentiate between the worldly people and the godly people. In a vessel, in the house, in the great house here represents the church. In the great house, there are vessels of honor and there are vessels of dishonor. Yes, we know that everybody in the church is not a born again, but it has become as if the issue of people, most especially the church leaders, the church workers, those who are regarded to be devoted members of the church, it has become as if the issue of we living a purified life, living the sacred life, living the righteous and holy life is no longer a part of the Christianity. The church today has become a place, let me not generalize, most of the churches today have become places where people, including the leaders, come and do whatever they like. They live their lifestyle anyhow they want, and nobody hold them to account. It has been as if everything is all right when everything is not really right, when almost everything is going the wrong way. We just keep quiet, we keep mute in the presence of evil and different sorts of corruption. We turn blind eyes to evildoers in the church. Rather than disciplining them, we join them in the activity. And the reason, as I've been emphasizing, is because most of us who are the church leaders are living the corrupt life. So that shuts our mouth, because those whom we may want to admonish, those whom we may want to exhort, they know our secrets. They know we live the same way they live. They know that there is no difference between us and them apart from the positions of leadership which we occupy in the church. Like the church leaders, like the followers. Many Christians today are being influenced by the world. It is no longer the Christians influencing the world in righteousness. It is now the world influencing the Christians in evil, and a lot of us are happy with that. However, God does not compromise his standard. The gospel does not compromise its standard, because the gospel is the personality, representative, the character, and the freedom authority of Jesus Christ. The essence of the gospel is human capital development, to build humanity in every aspect. In every aspect. The essence of the gospel is to salvage human beings spiritually, character-wise, as from pulling them from the bondage of sins, bondage of demonic spirits, then bringing them into the terrain of righteousness, building their character in righteousness, repairing the damaged life, restoring hope to the hopeless, guiding the gullible, educating them, transforming them for them to become whom God really wants them to be. It is about developing human absolutely in every ramification. That is what the gospel is all about. The gospel is about life reparation. But why are we not repairing lives this time around? In the days of the apostles, they did it. Many earlier evangelical Christians from around the world, I'm not talking about the colonial masters who claim to be Christian, the genuine Christian missionaries, they transformed the world. But why is it that most of us today can no longer create positive impact even in our own families? Why is it that Christian parents cannot even train their own children to become godly, to lead them through the godly path? The Bible said, train up a child in a way he should go, and that way is the word of God, so that when he grows up, he will not easily depart and forsake that way. The upbringing of many Christian children today is corrupt. And this reason is because many of the Christian children today have corrupt parents. So this is the time of revival, and the revival must start from ourselves. We are beginning to restore ourselves, to restore our dignity and integrity as Christians, to restore our truthfulness, to restore our positivities in all, that is in all dimensions. Everything we have to do, we have to follow the right way, do it the right way, and lead by example. That is what it means to living out the gospel. May God bless you as you have listened. Remember my book. This is Understanding and Executing Righteousness. This is my master textbook. You can see the size, a very big one, over 800 pages, and it is a book with high quality education, and this is about understanding the gospel very well and applying the gospel, understanding and executing righteousness. It is about understanding the principles of rightness and applying it into personal, institutional, communal, family, and every sector of life. I have other books. This book is available in Amazon. It is available in different platforms as published by Prime 7 Media and distributed to different marketing agents. So it has a soft copy, soft paper copy. This is the soft paper copy. It also has the hard cover. This is the soft cover or soft copy. It has also hard cover or hard copy. It has electronic copy, the one you can buy and download in your phone, in your tablet, in your desk or laptop computers. I have other books. As when you put my name, Iyimakalo, in your Google, it will take you through. You meet it in Amazon or any of the platform, then you have buy your purchase. As I've been telling you, every family, I mean every family should have this book, not only having it, to be reading it and to be understanding the content and to be applying it into their lives. I am in the business of human capital development God's way. So may God bless you until I come your way once again. I remain your serviceable servant, evangelist, Iyimakalo.